Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the authors of an amazing new book that we have coming out. This is called The Energy Healer's Oracle: Tools for Total Transformation. And this is volume 2 in a series, you guys. We're really excited, and I'm super grateful to Angela Aurora Medway Smith for being our lead author of this amazing project. And really, Angela, your mission is huge. And you have gathered a stellar group of expert authors in for this next book in the series to really help people understand what's possible for energy healing. And it's phenomenal. And I'm so grateful to you for your big vision and for just what you're doing in the world. I'm honored to be walking alongside you on this journey. So we have 4 incredible authors to introduce to you all today. Stefanie Kernler is the founder of Stop Playing Small and reunites women as the Magdalenes to weave magic together for the new earth. I hope I said that right, Stefanie. Tova Kirsty Lewis, the CEO of In Spite Of. Her mission is to be a voice for disabled individuals worldwide. Carolyn Fowler is here with us. She's a Usui Reiki and Karuna Reiki master teacher and a medical Reiki master through Raven Keys Medical Reiki International. She owns Peaceful Healing Reiki and is the founder of Peaceful Healing School. And we've got Heidi McAlpine with us. She's a holistic occupational therapist, podcaster, of Well Matters, and owner of Align OT, providing creative and meaningful activities such as nature, poetry, and animals that guide and transition children, adolescents, and adults with mental health issues, trauma, and sensory differences. All right. I cannot wait to be in this conversation with all of you today. Carolyn, tell us about your amazing chapter.
Well, thank you, Laura. And I want to shout out to Angela. A huge thank you for being lead author, which is, I know, a lot of work. I wrote chapter 8 in this amazing book, Usui Reiki, creating a masterpiece from the broken pieces of your life. And I've noticed with people that I've counseled and come across in life in general, bad things seem to come in all at once. For a lot of people, just you'll have a bad year with boom, boom, boom. And that was what it was like for me in 2008, 2009. My why for this chapter is I want people to understand that the worst things that can happen, and you can heal from this. You can find joy again. That's so important to me because I've met so many people who have lost children that can't get over that hump. And it's totally possible to do. So I'd like people to know that.
So in my journey, Carolyn, I often hear everything happens for us, not to us. Are you a believer of that statement?
I am.
Tell me more about why. Well, just tell me more about that. Well, people hear that and then they come up with the worst possible example and they say, how could that be for me? What would you say to that person?
Read my chapter.
Yes, and they will.
So it's a lot of hindsight. I'm going to be 73 this month. And so it's with a lot of life lived and looking back on things that I thought were horrible at the time actually moved me in the right direction. I say if you're told no by the universe, it's not a no necessarily, it's a try over here, or it's a redirection. So, and I'm getting, so I trust that implicitly.
Yeah, I love that. I have had a similar journey where in retrospect, you can look at what happened and say, okay, I'm starting to trust and but when you're in the moment, sometimes it feels impossible to,
Yeah.
yeah. So in the moment, what do you actually do? What's the practice look like if I was to peek in your window? You're in the middle of it. You know this, you're a practiced master teacher. What do you do in the moment?
Are you asking me what do I do when the proverbial stuff hits the fan, or what my
Exactly.
practice is? Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, I start with breath work
Yep.
because you can calm yourself, you can slow the world down, you can just close your eyes and do some breath work. It recenters you. And once you're centered, you can take it on.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, you ESP'd that answer from my brain because I mean, essentially, I just pause and breathe first, before reaction, which is, I think, what a lot of people do is they're in immediate reaction. And y'all don't want to walk around in reaction to your life all the time with all the bad things, right? Like, what if there was something better? So just the one deep breath. So thank you, Carolyn. That was exactly what I was thinking about for that one. This is such an important topic. And I'm so grateful to you, Carolyn. Thank you for being here. And thanks for saying yes to this.
Thank you.
Heidi, tell us about your amazing chapter.
Hello, hello. I am chapter 3, and it is called Sensory Alignment Therapy, Getting Past Barriers. And my why behind that, I'm going to piggyback a little bit with what was already said, is really working with their energy. And not only just the energy, but letting them know that they can be in that space and allowing them that space to just be and align with where they are, and then working from there, because you need to build trust. If somebody's been through trauma, whether that's disability, illness, abuse, there needs to be a level of trust with the person that you're working with. And I can't force my opinions or my thinking or my skills on someone who isn't ready. So they need to be ready to want to make those small steps that become a bigger goal.
Heidi, what's the tool that you teach in this book?
Okay, the tool that I teach in this book is using the sensory system, and there's 8 different senses. A lot of us know the 5, but interoception is a sense that is your inner body, and hunger, knowing that you're safe. All of those things need to be addressed first. So my approach is a bottom-up approach where I work with the sensory system and the emotional regulation. So you can't be emotionally regulated if you have problems if your senses are on hyper alert. So it's really working with giving them that space to trust. And then once they trust, giving them a simple tool, one simple tool. I use sound therapy in the background. You see the singing bowl. I use tuning forks. I use Reiki. I use an ethereal drum. So I use sound and music and aromatherapy. So I'm using the sense of smell, the sense of hearing. And I'll go into that a little bit with a case study of a woman that I connected with, and she became a very good friend. And that's what my chapter is about. But it's really looking at each individual person and what are their strengths, not looking at a place of disability, but a place of strength, and how I can build on that strength using the senses. So an example would be Christmas time. And not all senses create a good sense. It can be a memory that doesn't have such a good sense. So I'm really being aware of what they need, what they like, what their interests are. So if they think about Christmas time and a great memory, I might bring in cinnamon, and that's part of the aromatherapy. Or make a client that likes lemons and it really stimulates them. I'd make a bed spray with water and lemongrass and have them spray that just to work with changing their mood and their energy instantaneously, because the sense of smell works more immediate than all the other senses.
I love thinking about anything that helps people into their body. And I love that you said inner body sensing, because that's really what a lot of that is. Heidi, thank you so much for putting your expertise into this book. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you. It's great to meet new people, collaborate, and just make a bigger change with more people.
Stefanie, are you ready to tell us about your chapter?
Yes, very much so. I also want to have a shout out to Angela. Thank you so much for putting this together. And it's so amazing to hear about all the chapters, to meet you guys in person, because of course I went through some of the chapters and I love this book so much. And yes, my chapter is chapter 16, Web of Womb Activation, Reuniting as the Magdalenes to Weave the New Earth. And my why behind this is quite simple, because Spirit has really guided me to bring this work, to bring my soul's work into the world this year. I was guided to let go of so many things and to really focus on the web of wombs. And then so many amazing projects flew into my door. One of it is this book. And I was really guided to share this widely with the world. And my story, it was so interesting to, find an entry point into how did I even come to do this work? How did I come to connect with the energy of Mary Magdalene? And I went back into the story that I felt it always took an effort to be me. And only when I became a mother 6 years ago, this was really mirrored back at me 24/7 by my beautiful daughter. And I realized there is no place to hide any longer. I wanted more from motherhood and I wanted more from life. I wanted to be able to deeply connect with her with all my heart and to feel this unconditional love. And it put me on a deep journey guided by her soul, to really heal, to look into my own story, how I was conceived, how the time was when I was in the womb of my mother, how I came into this world, and the first time when I landed into this world, and how this shaped me for life. And then the journey went deeper into my womb, because I'm coming from a bloodline, from a mother line where there is a lot of disease and blocked energy in our wombs, lots of cancer, lots of diseases. And I really understood that I'm going to be the lineage breaker. This is what I'm here for, to transform so much of this. And, through this, connecting back to my womb, connecting back to just such a treasure of womb consciousness, I was really guided to co-create with other women, not to, I do womb blessings and healings. I'm a moon mother. I hold circles, but I felt such a strong call to reunite us and to co-create something together. And I work with the spirit baby realm, and it is often the spirit babies guiding their mothers to work with me to really create a new energy through our womb, to step into this womb consciousness and to really allow them to ground their full light into Mother Earth. And it can only be done when we are grounding our full light into Mother Earth first, right? We are the vessels for these souls to come Earthside. So yeah, this is what my chapter is about. It's a very personal story. It was a very deep process to share this and to, try to tell a story of 6 years in, 3,000 words. It was deeply emotional, but also so liberating, and it feels so amazing to be able to share this, because the why is to speak my truth and to not play small anymore, which was, is also the name of of my soul business. And it's a mantra that I was given when I gave birth to my daughter 6 years ago, which was my spiritual awakening. And I always knew Stop Playing Small will be the name of my soul business. And I never had an idea what it will be about. I guess many of us are on this journey where we constantly develop and evolve with our soul business. And now really feels like a huge time of harvesting, a huge time of things coming together. And yes, and Stop Playing Small was really the process of writing this chapter, you know, to not hold back, to find the words to really speak from my heart and womb. And I'm so interested to hear how this lands, how it resonates with the women, because I know it will find the right women.
I love the topic so much. And I think many of us who are in these projects are with Stefanie in terms of, you know, we're not playing small anymore. We also recognize that we are going to be the lineage breaker, which is Stefanie's words. Stefanie, thank you so much for being here, for saying yes to this. Tova, you ready to tell us about your amazing chapter?
Yes. Thank you, everyone. My chapter, number 10, is about acupuncture and is called Turning Tears into Joy. It's a very personal story, also about clients. A dear friend of mine that passed away, and his living soul that's still here among us, of how to help him with using acupuncture and energy work to open up for himself to be able to communicate with his my deceased friend. So it's also, the chapter is also about my own chronically friends and how I've turned all my battles and life struggles in all ways, physically, mentally, into joy, trying to help other people with disabilities. And for me, it's not about disabilities. It's about the abilities we have. We have to be heard. We have to be seen. We can do so much together if we just get to be seen and heard instead of being put down with all these pills. In the West, I've been working now with traditional Chinese medicine for years. And I want us to be able to combine everything from nature medicine, Western medicine, for the best for us, the persons, not for the big pharma. So my mission is to be a voice, not only the disabled, but for Mother Earth, because I am so ill. I became so ill because of how the world has become. So I went from being physically practicing, doing massages, acupuncture, to do the healing energy from distance. I can't bear people suffer anymore. I just wanted to end. So I'll do everything what I've been through. I don't want anyone to go through. So I'm turning everything I can of my shit into good things for someone else. And that makes me happy and makes me hold on to be able to survive, to make this world better together with you guys, to everyone else that's on the same mission, because one is all is one. It's all energy.
Beautiful, Tova. Yeah, I'm going to back up to something you said just a minute. There's the idea for people that the energy of a lost loved one is still present, and there's a way to connect, might be very new to somebody listening today. What do you want them to know about that?
That everything is possible. It depends on your own belief systems and your experience, that our loved ones, we are just change. It's energy. We just change shape. It's just like you sit with your mobile phone. You don't understand how you can speak with another person wherever in the world, but you still speak with them. It's the same. You can't see them. They are there. You may hear them. You may feel them if you are open for it, or maybe through someone else. Like, don't limit your beliefs, because you can have contact with people. You can self-heal. Open up to what is there. The universe, the energy is amazing. Even though life can be really hard and complicated, but it's still so beautiful if you opened up your mind to what's there.
Agree. Tova, thank you so much for saying yes and for being a part of this.
But I want to say thank you to Angela. Not only is she a great author, she reached out to me in a difficult time. And if you don't know her work, she is an amazing healer. And not only is she the producer of the book, she takes care of her other team members, her authors. She is amazing, and I'm grateful for the help I have received from her. Thank you.
Thanks for that. So just a quick thank you to all four of you. You know, you're all masters at what you do, and you sit with people and you serve every day. You're master teachers, and it's quite one thing to be able to coach people and serve in the way that you do, but it's another thing to take the challenge of putting that into black and white in the book in a way that people have a practical experience that, you know, is profound. And you all did that so beautifully. So my thank you to all of you for, you know, saying yes to that challenge and bringing these tools to people so that they could practice in their homes. And so for our listeners today, you're going to be reading some amazing, beautiful, and vulnerable stories of how these beautiful practitioners got to where they are today and what they're doing. But then you get to practice. You get to have these master teachers all in one book, this beautiful toolkit, right? Total transformation. Angela had a big vision and a mission even for the title of total transformation. So Heidi, I'm going to start with you for this next question. You know, in the beginning of my journey with energy, I had trouble feeling anything. I didn't know where to start. Everyone was talking about it and all the things they felt. And I was sitting there going, oh, I guess I can't do that because I don't know. So what would you say to somebody in that spot? They're open, they're curious, but they don't know what they're feeling or how to go about it. What would be that one piece of advice?
First of all, it's okay to be where you are. And healing takes time. It's not in a moment's time. It's over time. And I've constantly gone through different things in my life where I thought I had it down. And then something came back and I had to find a space, and not always stillness, because I think people think meditation and mindfulness has to be stillness. I like to bring in the movement piece with sound, the movement with myofascial release, and it's one of the techniques that I share. But just to let them know that it's okay to share my personal journey or to reach out to other people, to constantly research about things, because I want them to feel okay with what they're doing. I want them to feel in control, because anyone who's gone through any sort of trauma, it's an out of control feeling. So how do you bring them back into a sense of control is by giving them ownership and choices of the direction that you're going to take them. So it's not me forcing what I think is going to work. It's saying, hey, these are the things that I've have. These are the things that have worked for different people, maybe giving them some case studies, some different examples. What do you think would work for you? What do you want to see change about your health within the next week or two? So it's like setting goals, and we're partners. I'm not up here telling them what to do. We're partners. We have a professional alliance is what I call it. And there's a lot of research on that, is when you're working together with someone and with a client, you're a team. And they don't feel like you are better than, or you're far ahead. You're with them together on the journey.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Heidi. Stefanie, how about you for this one? So if there's somebody out there, they're having trouble feeling energy at all. They don't even know what you mean. They're curious though, and they're open enough. So they're ready. What would be that stepping stone to help them into that world of energy?
I would say a very good first step is to connect back to your intuition. because your soul will show you the path into energy healing, into even receiving these huge energies that are coming into the planet right now. But only if we listen to our own guidance, we will be able to follow the way that is right for us, because there are so many ways, right? And for me, I always knew that my healing will go through my womb, long before I knew even about the womb history of, of my bloodline, of my mother line. But there was this innate knowing that I had no idea about, kind of even that it's there. But if you know something like this, if you just know that there is a path that you're put onto, then go these steps, listen within, trust that guidance. And, how do we connect to our intuition, right? I share a very simple tool that I really find so transformative and that literally anybody can apply from today. And it's so easy. I share how when we wake up in the morning, we take this one moment to just deeply breathe and to connect within and to ask for guidance. What does my soul want to experience today? And then whatever comes through, it's very simple things, to step out on a balcony and take a deep breath, or to make yourself a nice cup of tea, or to cut some roses, or whatever it is, it's really like everyday things. But if we make this a priority, if we do this first thing, then what actually happens is that so much guidance is flowing through while we do it. And I sometimes feel it's like this radio station, that when you were trying to find a radio station to listen to the channel. And for me, it feels a bit like this. If universe understands, if spirit understands that the guidance is coming through, if you act on that, if this becomes your normal, you will be guided in the right direction. So many synchronicities will happen in your life that, you are supported in this. You're not alone in this. And I think the entry point can be anything. It's so different to so many people, right? You might be drawn to join a women's circle or do womb blessing or Reiki healing or whatever it is, and just trust this guidance. Just trust it and be open to follow this guidance.
Thank you, Stefanie. So Tova, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna ask it differently for you and Carolyn. Tova, when you first started to feel energy, what was the moment where you broke through to feeling whatever it is you felt? So we're talking to our listeners today who don't even know if they can feel energy. They don't. What is that? Like, what is one way you could guide them to feeling?
I'll just give one example so people can understand what is energy, what you feel. Take your hands together, rub it. Take them apart. What do you feel between your hands? And move it a bit back. That's energy. It creates heat. You can feel it's cold around. You can't see it. That's energy. And energy comes in all kinds of forms.
I love
And
that.
you
That's
yeah.
a practical example that you guys can all feel if you do it with us today. You can also, you're touching your own hand, which is making me think of what Heidi said about sensations, but also what Tova said about the heat. And for me, the tingle, I can feel the energy tingle, right? I love that example, Tova. Thank you. Carolyn, how about you on this one? What's a way you can help people into that world of feeling energy?
Well, Tova totally stole my idea. I was gonna say, rub your hands together and then relaxed about 6 inches apart. Some people close their eyes. I say, build a little sun there and stay until you feel the heat. And then when you press in on it, you can feel it actually pushing back. And that is the energy that you've just created right there. So, and when you get students on the table, when I'm teaching Reiki, and they feel that energy density over where the energy is blocked in the body, and it feels like just what they experienced with their hands, that's an aha moment. It's beautiful.
I love those aha moments. And I appreciate hearing all of you talk about because it's really the reason for these collaborations, you guys, is because we need to hear this in all of the ways, all your unique voices. And there's going to be somebody that can hear it in only the way that you expressed it. So when you come into one of our books, you have all of those different voices and the way they're expressing, but also teaching the tools. We could teach a tool with 100 teachers, and you're going to get it with teacher 5, like you're going to be hearing it for the first time in a way you needed to have your aha moment. And that is what I absolutely love about these interviews, is hearing you all talk about this in different ways. Stefanie, all of you practice self-care. You must take care of yourself to be able to serve. We know this. We're all on our path doing this in different ways. What's one of your favorite ways that you practice self-care? If I was going to just peek in your window, what would that look like?
Yeah, for me, it's what I shared before, to really make this a priority, to tune in, right?
How do you
at the
tune
beginning.
in? Do you sit and meditate?
Yes, give
me your personal example.
I have 2 small children, so it's not, that my mornings are how I like them to be necessarily, to have my huge spiritual practice. And that was actually one thing about motherhood that I did not enjoy for years, that I don't wake up myself anymore, but I'm woken up by children, and then it's all of a sudden, I want breakfast, I want this. And so how do you find this moment, right? But what I do is, like I have this finger in my ear and somebody wants something from me. And then I still take a moment to sit up, and it's so quick now, I put one hand on my heart, one hand on my womb, and I just breathe deeply and I connect, and I'm like, what does Spirit want from me? What do I want from this day? And there is a guidance coming in instantly. And even, to show this to my girls, to make this a priority, right? That this guidance, this inner guidance, this inner voice matters, because it shapes our whole day. There is this amazing saying, how we start something is how we end something, right? And to just give that as a simple example. And for me, it's, to just drink enough, be out in nature and connect to the flowers. I live in Switzerland. We have amazing mountain rivers. And I share this in the book. There was a time in my life where I felt that my body is aching to jump in that river. And I could not do it because it was too much of an effort for me to walk down and to just take that time to really nourish myself, to jump into the healing energy of the water. And now it became so easy for me, because I know that every day is worth living, and I want to feel the magic, and I want to invite this in my life, and I feel, we always come back to this example with meditation. But when we first start to meditate, it's so hard, right? It's so hard to calm our mind, to calm this monkey mind that is going crazy. But what is to sit with that is the whole journey, actually. What if it's all about this? Because when we are at a point where this becomes easier, the journey deepens, but actually it never fully goes away, right? So it's alchemizing that, and just, for me, a huge thing is to center within. to connect to the divine and to stay soft during the day, to be in my feminine and to nourish my kids from that energy.
I love it. Thank you, Stefanie. It's nice to have a window into people's practices to give ideas. Tova, what does your self-care moment look like? Try to just give us one today. All of you have 100 ways you do this, but so
Okay,
it's
the biggest
complicated
one
sometimes.
is to learn to allow oneself to think about oneself. Is self-care, and not always put everyone else first. So that's my main safe thing. Think about myself and then the others.
I like that. I don't think I've heard anybody say that before in terms of like first step, but it seems so simple. Yet, especially as Stefanie said, if you're a mom, you open your eyes and you're not thinking about yourself. You're woken up by your kids. You're thinking about everything else. Tova, I love that. Just stay here for a moment first.
You need this is it's a survival technique, actually, and it shouldn't be. It should be
Exactly.
natural.
It shouldn't be. It should be the oxygen mask first and always, right? And then everything else can flow from there. It's important. Carolyn, how about you? What's the self-care? What's that look like for you in terms of one of your practices?
In terms of daily care, I think it's important, and especially with energy workers who are mostly empaths, to clear your auric field, sometimes several times a day. Clear it, cut the dysfunctional etheric cords, and call back your power, call back your energies you've given away that were taken from you or that leaked from you, and just stand there in that power for a moment.
So clear the auric field. Can you give me what you actually do?
I have a selenite wand.
There we go.
Okay.
So a crystal wand, you guys, for those of you.
You can use it like a brush, or you can do it around your body, or you simply hold it in front of your heart chakra and visualize all of that negative energy just flowing into that beautiful piece of crystal, and then shake that crystal off outside, get rid of those energies.
Nice. Thank you. Thanks for the extra description. I think sometimes we're in these practices with this literal magic, but we don't realize, some people don't even know what that is. Like, you can use crystals, you can use sage, you can use so many different tools to help you with the energy shift. And it's a magical, big world, isn't it? Of all these beautiful things. Heidi, what's your one self-care that you want to share? And I'm going to have you unmute, Heidi.
Every day is a different day, right? Whatever I go through. So I have to gain a sense of control of where I am and what I'm experiencing. So like you had mentioned earlier in my bio, I love to use nature. Nature is healing to me. So in the morning, I'll go outside, have my cup of coffee, just tune in, close my eyes, because vision, we take in most of our information. I think it's like 80%, the stats say, of what we learn through our vision. So if I take out that and eliminate that noise, and I just tune into what I'm hearing, I like the birds or something like that, that helps me bring me back into my intuition, my body. It helps align me. If I'm feeling pain in my body or discomfort or tightness, that can take away from that moment. So I like to use the myofascial therapy balls, or I use tuning forks, and I bring it to that area that is stressful and feels that tension, to release that tension. And then I get back to the breath and I connect to my body and align with that. So every day's different, but to release that energy that's stuck, I might ground myself in the ground, actually put my bare feet into the grass and the ground, and release the energy that's not serving me, and then take in more energy in the moment to fill my body. So there's a couple of different ways, but every day is different, but I use nature. Nature's my healing power.
I love it. It's one of mine as well. And as you guys can hear, these authors have full rituals and routines for their self-care. It's rarely one simple thing they do. It's usually a combination of 2 or 3 things, but they've created a ritual for themselves when they start to feel whatever they feel, and have the intention or the desire to shift it. I think one of the most important things I want people to know about energy is that if you haven't dabbled, it can be a missing link to what you want to do with your life, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. If you haven't dabbled in energy yet, get ready to feel things you never thought possible. That's what I want people to know. And I'm going to be asking all of these authors here for this last question to be brief if they can. What's the most important thing you want people to know about energy, right? Tova, you're up first.
That everything is energy. Look what you got around you, how things work to understand it more. And try to focus on what's positive energy. I don't look at things as good or bad. Look at it at different levels and frequencies. You've got a high frequencies, that's good. I think that's lower is maybe not so good. So look around you. What is around? And stay tuned in to positive energy.
Love it. Carolyn, what's your answer to this? What's that thing you want people to know?
It's like when you walk into a room and there's just been an argument there and you feel it, that's your intuition. Start to listen to it and trust it. The trusting is the hard part for newbies.
I really love the example, though. That's something I think everyone can relate to. It's like, ooh, we could feel that.
Yep.
Thank you for that. Heidi, what is yours?
That by gaining a greater sense of yourself through the senses, one sense at a time, one moment at a time, is crucial for helping you heal and get past that stress response to a more relaxation response, so that you can move past challenges one step at a time.
Nice. Really great advice when you're in that total overwhelmed state. Stefanie, you're going to close us out today. What's that one thing you want people to know about energy?
I want people to know, I'm going to talk to the women here. I want women on Earth to know that there is so much energy currently flowing in that is so deeply healing for all of us as a collective, that allows us to deeply sink in and trust, deeply trust, to feel deeply held in our true essence, in our full power. And I want women to know that there is so much energy within us, within our womb, that is ready to be unlocked and to be activated, to really return to our radiant womb. And I believe that every woman on earth is here to really tap into this womb consciousness that is available, that is here, it's here right now. And this is what I feel guided to share right now.
And some of all of these things, everyone, is what's possible. I'm so excited. Authors, thank you so much for what you do in the world. And thank you all for being here today to share it with everyone. Thanks, ladies. So to our listeners today, we know that maybe something gave you the goosebumps today. Maybe you had a little aha, or you have a question, or You want to carry on the conversation. And this is way more than a book project. This is a generous community of experts who want to help you on this journey and help you learn more about energy. So drop down into the show notes. I have all of our author experts hooked up with their websites and their links, and you can go, please go explore, see what they're up to in the world, and learn more about all of the different things that you heard about today. You can also join us for a book launch party. We're going to be gathering with all of the authors of the Energy Healers Oracle on August 13th. 12 p.m. Eastern. I've got the information down below for that. And if you happen to be listening to this interview anytime around that date, the book is going to be live by then. So you should hop over to Amazon and grab your copy. And lastly, today, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.